I'm Wyatt Cash at Scoop News Group, and we're here with Sean Frazier, Federal Chief Security Officer at Okta. Sean, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Wyatt. Good to see you again.
Let me ask our first question around today's topic. What does IT modernization mean in 2021 in the federal market?
So I think modernization can mean a couple of different things. It can mean providing kind of better experiences, user experiences to access to technology. It can mean cost savings in some instances where if you have a long legacy tail of technology that you're supporting, if you can kind of limit that or you can modernize that, you tend to be able to realize some cost savings. And then me being a security guy, I tend to think as modernization is modernizing your security stack and providing not only better experiences, but also safer experiences.
Well, how did the pandemic affect the need to modernize potentially more rapidly in federal agencies?
I think it was an amazing acceleration to modernization and the requirement to modernize. And the biggest reason being because a lot of times when we think about modernization, we think about cloud services and we think about moving to the cloud. And the pandemic really shone a light on the need to provide those services and make them accessible from anywhere to anywhere. And that's the personification of cloud. So I think the agencies who had a cloud journey were moving to modernization were ended up being a lot better off than some that didn't. But there was a perfect example of the need to modernize.
Well, and you've been covering this space for some time now. What major priorities stand out to you now for modernization in government today?
So I think and I don't just say this because I'm part of Okta and we're an identity and access management technology and security company. I think identity modernization is probably one of the key aspects of something that people need to approach with some acceleration and with some sense of urgency, because I think, nothing really happens till somebody requests access to something. So we tend to be the front door, or the identity and access management solution tends to be the front door to access. And if you can modernize that and you can leverage strong authenticators, like you can leverage a strong biometric authentication, and you can make it a better user experience in the bargain of making it more secure, I think that's a win. So that's a great place to start. A lot of agencies and organizations have started there. And then taking a look at your applications and figuring out, do all of my applications fit into this modernization bucket and can take advantage of the modernization of IT and the modernization of identity.
Well, and lastly, looking a little farther out, after modernization, what comes next?
So I think that there's a couple of things. So one is kind of the care and feeding of the system, right? So we have to build a system that we can maintain. And I think one of the biggest challenges, as I mentioned earlier, with kind of legacy is that our legacy tail, as it grows, we spend more and more of our resources supporting the older stuff and we can't innovate. So I think we take this opportunity to modernize our security. It gives us the wide range of innovation that we can then do in the future. So things, a better citizen engagement, more secure citizen engagement. So if you look at a lot of the states that had to do over the past year with citizen interactions with regards to unemployment benefits. Anytime you bring money onto the internet, it's almost a feeding frenzy or a dinner bell for attackers. So being able to modernize and secure that and innovate, so you can go from it takes me 10 days to get a permit to 1 hour online. That's what this is all about.
Well, Sean Frazier, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today. It's always a pleasure talking with you.
Thanks, Wyatt. Always a pleasure.